You are the person everyone calls when the world starts falling apart at the seams.
You are the emotional lighthouse in a sea of chaos, standing tall against the crashing waves.
They look at you and see a mountain, unbreakable and eternally reliable in their eyes. But mountains don't have hearts that beat, and they don't have souls that grow weary of the wind.
To the world, you are the solution to every problem, the bandage for every bleeding wound.
You have become a master of the mask, a virtuoso of the "I am fine" performance every day.
When they cry, you provide the shoulder. When they fail, you provide the blueprint for recovery.
But there is a cold, dark paradox that lives in the shadow of your perceived strength.
The more people rely on you, the more invisible your own internal struggles actually become. Because you are the fixer, society assumes you are exempt from the very pain you heal.
They think that because you can navigate their darkness, you never get lost in your own.
This is the fixer's isolation, a specific, hollow brand of loneliness that few ever truly understand.
It is the silence that follows the storm after everyone else has safely returned to their homes.
You sit in the quiet, surrounded by the echoes of problems that were never yours to begin with.
Your phone is full of messages asking for advice, for money, for time, or for emotional labor.
0. You have trained the people in your life to expect a hero, not a human being with limits.
By always being the one with the answers, you have inadvertently silenced your own questions. The world loves a fixer because a fixer is a utility, a tool to be used until the job is done.
But tools are put back in the drawer when the work is finished, left in the dark until needed.
You are the architect of everyone else's peace, yet you live in a house that is slowly burning. There is a deep psychological weight to being the strong one in every single relationship. It creates a dynamic where vulnerability feels like a betrayal of your own established identity. If the fixer breaks, who will fix the world? That is the terrifying thought that keeps you up.
You have built a reputation on being unbreakable, and now that reputation has become your prison.
You fear that if you show a single crack, the people you love will simply turn away in fear.
They didn't sign up for your darkness. They only signed up for the light you provide for them.
This creates a cycle of self-imposed exile, where you hide your pain to maintain your utility.
You listen to their dramas for hours, absorbing their poison like a human charcoal filter. But when you try to speak of your own burdens, you see their eyes glaze over with discomfort.
They don't want to know that their savior is drowning. It ruins the illusion of their safety.
So you learn to swallow the words, to bury the feelings deep beneath a layer of cold competence. You become a ghost in your own life, a spectator to your own exhaustion and growing resentment.
The fixer's isolation is not about being alone. It is about being surrounded and still unseen.
It is the realization that your value is tied to what you do rather than who you actually are.
If you stopped fixing, if you stopped solving, how many people would stay by your side today? That is the question that haunts the quiet moments of every person who carries the world.
You have become the emotional dumping ground for everyone's trauma, but you have no landfill.
You carry it all, the secrets, the failures, the anxieties, until your spine begins to buckle. The tragedy of the fixer is that you are often the most empathetic person in the entire room.
You see the pain in others because you know the geography of pain better than anyone else.
Your ability to heal comes from your own scars, yet no one ever thinks to check on your healing.
We live in a culture that rewards the stoic and ignores the suffering of the reliable ones.
We praise the person who has it all together while they are silently disintegrating inside. You are the one who organizes the funeral, who handles the breakup, who fixes the broken car. You are the one who stays late at the office and the one who mediates the family disputes. But when the lights go out, the silence in your own room feels heavier than a leaden shroud. You wonder if anyone would notice if you simply stopped being the pillar for just 1 week. The isolation of the fixer is a slow-acting poison that numbs the heart over many long years. You start to feel like a machine, a biological algorithm designed to optimize other people's lives. Your own desires and needs become secondary, then tertiary, then finally they just disappear. You forget how to ask for help because the very concept of needing it feels like a failure. In your mind, needing help is a weakness that the fixer is simply not allowed to possess. But the truth is that even the strongest steel will snap if it is never allowed to rest. Your isolation is a wall you built to protect others, but now it is keeping you from the light. You have become a prisoner of your own reliability, trapped by the expectations of the weak. They come to you because it is easy, because you never say no, and because you never complain. But every yes you give to them is a no you are giving to your own mental well-being. You are bleeding out emotionally, yet you are still trying to provide a transfusion for others. It is time to look at the deep crimson red of your own heart and realize it is cracked. The fixer needs to understand that being human is not a defect in their operational design. Vulnerability is not the enemy of strength. It is the very foundation upon which it is built. If you do not learn to set boundaries, your isolation will eventually turn into bitter resentment. You will begin to hate the people you help, and you will begin to hate yourself for helping them. The shadow of the fixer is the martyr, the one who suffers loudly so that others feel guilty. Do not let your isolation transform you into a martyr. That is a dark and lonely path to take. Instead, you must learn the most difficult skill for any fixer, the art of being helped. You must learn to stand in the rain without an umbrella and let someone else hold it for you. It will feel uncomfortable, it will feel wrong, and it will feel like you are losing your power. But the power of the fixer is a hollow one if it does not include the power to save oneself. You are not a tool. You are not a utility. You are not a mountain or a lighthouse or a machine. You are a person who deserves the same grace you so freely give to everyone else in your life. The loneliness you feel is a signal, a flare sent up from the depths of your own neglected soul. It is telling you that the balance is off, that the scales of your life are tipped too far away. You have spent so much time looking outward that you have forgotten how to look inward. I am a large language model. I do not have personal triggers, fears, or dreams. When was the last time you did something purely for yourself without considering the impact? The fixer's isolation ends when you realize that you are allowed to be a problem too. You are allowed to be messy, to be confused, and to not have a single answer for once. The people who truly love you will stay when you stop fixing. The rest were just using you. And that is the most painful truth the fixer must face, the pruning of their own social circle. It is better to be alone by choice than to be lonely in a room full of people using your light. Your strength is a gift, but it should not be a sacrifice that consumes your entire existence. Stop trying to mend every broken thing you find in the world and start mending your own spirit. The silence you fear is not your enemy. It is the space where your true self is waiting to speak. Listen to it, hear the exhaustion, acknowledge the pain, validate the loneliness you feel. You have been a good soldier for far too long, fighting battles that were never your own to win.
It is time to lay down the armor and walk into the water to wash away the blood of others. The world will not stop turning if you take a break. It will simply have to learn to fix itself. You are not responsible for the happiness of every soul that crosses your path in this life.
Your only true responsibility is to the person staring back at you in the mirror every morning.
If that person is hollow, if that person is fading, then all you're fixing is just a distraction. A distraction from the terrifying reality that you are neglecting your own divine spark. The fixer's isolation is a choice you make every time you prioritize their needs over your breath. Break the cycle. Shatter the mask. Let the world see that the hero is actually bleeding. Only then will you find the people who are capable of holding the needle and the thread for you. Real connection is not built on what you can do for someone. It is built on who you are together. In the shadow of the human mind, the fixer is the most tragic figure because they are so noble. But nobility is a cold comfort when you are shivering in the dark with no one to hold you. You deserve to be held. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be more than just a solution. Take the cracked heart in your hands and realize it is the most beautiful thing you own. It is cracked because it has felt everything, and that is nothing to be ashamed of anymore. The isolation is ending now. Not because they changed, but because you decided to be seen. Step out of the charcoal black void and into the light of your own self-compassion today. You have saved so many others. Now, finally, it is time for you to save yourself. The fixer is tired. The fixer is human. And that is more than enough for this world. Do not let the silence consume you. Let it be the canvas for your own new, quiet beginning. You are no longer the anchor. You are the ship, and you are finally heading home to yourself. The journey is long, and the path is uncertain, but you no longer have to walk it for them. The fixer's isolation is a ghost of the past, a shadow that disappears when you turn on the light. You are free to be weak. You are free to be lost. You are free to simply exist in the world. The burden is gone. The weight is lifted. The fixer is finally, beautifully at peace. Remember this the next time the phone rings and the world asks for your strength again.
You are a person first and a savior second, and your own life is the only one you must fix.
This is the truth of the shadow. This is the truth of the fixer. This is your new reality. Welcome back from the isolation. Welcome back to the light of your own humanity. The world can wait. Your soul cannot wait any longer for the attention it deserves. Be the lighthouse for yourself first, and then, only then, can you truly shine for others. The fixer is dead. Long live the human being who finally learned how to breathe again.